Okay.
Okay.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, happy Wednesday.
So, like I said, I don't know if this is mentioned there, so I could be just jumping the gun, but when you're inviting people, and like I know the idea is to start out by like trying to, get comfortable with them and start conversations, but like I'm having a hard time with the transition.
Mm.
And because we start talking about all these different things, and I love talking and it's so hard, but the transition part, like how to get it to come back, or like some people tell me straight up, like this one girl was like, oh yeah, I already lost 75 pounds, and she was like clearly not interested and knew what I was getting at, but I don't know how to transition comfortably. So I don't know, is that going to be answered in the
No, I mean, I don't know, maybe, but like this is like good topics to talk to you guys about. So, and I talked to Candace about this, and I told her this too. Like, I'm engaging. Like, all right, so like how they were talking about, like Kim was talking about last night, like people who are watching your stories every day, right? Like, those are the people that I am inviting straight off the bat, but those are the people that I'm really like connecting with, to where it's like, hey, thanks so much for watching my stories. Like, I'd love to learn why you are watching them. So it's not like I'm just trying to be like, hey, like your dog's cute. It's like, hey, why are you watching? Like, I'm off the bat, like going into a question. For me, I like to invite just straight from the start. Because if people are watching me on my stories every day and they're liking my stuff and they're constantly engaging with me, especially my stories, because like if you're watching me every day, like I know people just tap through, but like every day, like there's people who watch me all the time. Like you're watching me for a reason, right? So like those people who are watching you, I send them an invite. So, and that's where like I struggle sometimes and I get in my own head. But I mean, that's how I messaged Candace. I was like, hey, like, I see you're watching me. I really appreciate it. I have, I don't know if you've seen, but like I have a new group starting June 1st or whatever. I have a virtual community of women who are working on their nutrition and fitness goals. Are you interested in learning more? And it's just being straight up, because it's like, you are your own brand and you are a business. And I mean, like, that's where some people feel different than I do. And like I know other coaches feel the same. Like Kate Schultz, she's the same way as me. Like she's like, you're messaging me for a reason. Like, what are you messaging me for? Right. So like I'm just very straight up. Like, hey, so you're watching me. What's up? Like, are you interested? And then the people who don't answer, who I follow up with, I just simply ask them like, hey, I know you saw my last, I don't know if you saw my last message. I just want to check in. Like, I see you're still following me on stories. So you kind of like call them out. Like, I see you're still watching me. But that's why it's always important also in your stories to make sure you are being a human. Like you're sharing, like it's not all Beachbody. It's not all fitness nutrition. And I know like right now it's kind of hard, especially with like everything going on there. And this is where I struggle because this now is my full-time job. So like, I was at the bakery, it was like, oh, muffins, Danish, like this asshole customer just came in and like, you know what I mean? Like being like sharing other things. And right now it's hard because we're stuck at home. And so, but like sharing your dogs, like I know Susie, like you've been sharing a lot on stories, which is awesome. You want to have at least 10 stories up at all times, because it's very easy for people to just like click, oh, okay, one story, okay, forgot about you. Like what are you putting out there every day that people want to come back and see? Oh, my cats are hissing at each other. For me, like people love watching my Jiggle Juice videos, right? Like that's like my thing. I love to dance. I love my pre-workout, and it just gets me like fired up. People love seeing my dogs. They love seeing Rue like in his pee band, because they call it a diaper. It's not a freaking diaper. It's a pee band because he needs his balls chopped off. So he still marks everything. But like they love seeing that. Or one girl who I asked, she was following my stories, and I said, thank you for continuing to, I've already invited her, so I was just engaging with her again. And she's like, honestly, I watch your stories because it helps me hold myself accountable, like to my own workouts and stuff. So like, it's good to make sure you're sharing stuff about your business every single day, but also being a human. because also when you are sharing like stories about your challenge group or your coaching opportunity, you have something to invite to. Like if you're not talking about your challenge groups, if you're not talking about the coaching opportunity, and you message somebody about coaching, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you're sharing, like if you're going on your talk, like how Kim said on our Power Hour call last night, like I get more engagement when I'm talking. I also like to put subtitles on my stories. No, it doesn't have to be everything. Like I want people to kind of to want to turn the volume up and listen to what I'm saying. But sometimes people are at work and they just can't like, or they're watching TV with their husband and they're just like, they don't want to turn it up. So just like putting like little jabs that might make them want to raise the volume and be like, what is she talking about? For example, also today I went in and I gave people tips on like if you're in like just a blah mood, which I've been in today. So like moving my body, putting on music, and brain dumping. Nothing to do with Beachbody, nothing to do with coaching. Just simple tips that, hey, okay, this girl's giving me like 3 good tips. Like I'm struggling with my mood today too. Like that's cool, you know? Sharing my food, like people seeing like, oh, hey, I do eat, you know, real food, not just my shakes every day. I do like eat my carbs and all that. But then when you're, you know, inviting somebody from your stories, it's easier, especially because you can message people from the story they're watching. So when you go to your stories and you swipe up, you can click that little arrow and it'll, so when you message them, that will pop up. So they know what story you were talking about. So that's just really important. So for me, if I see people are watching me and I haven't connected with them yet, but I've seen they're watching me over and over, I will send them a straight up invite and just invite them because I don't like the back and forth bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm having a hard time with because like I'm working all day and then I'm trying to have a conversation and then I'm like I'm losing interest, so I can imagine
Right.
them losing interest.
Right.
Like
And it's honestly a waste of time. Like, so on your business activity tracker, like as far as, where the hell did mine go? I was using it before. Here it is. I need another notebook actually. I need a brain dumping notebook. But all right, so on your business activity tracker, like initiate connections and add followers, that's different than inviting, right? Those are 2 separate things. So today, I do happy birthday messages every day. That's part of my initiating connection. So sending a birthday message, hey, happy birthday, but also just saying, have anything fun planned? Like starting a conversation, not just happy birthday. Like, like ask them what they're doing, get into a conversation. And then also that might be, I'll send like 10 connections of maybe I'm watching other people's stories because that's an easy way to connect with people, or just simply looking through my followers or people who are watching me or liking my stuff and connecting with them and just saying like, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. I would love to know what drew you to it or whatever. Maybe it's I love your leopard pants. Like, oh, thanks. Like that's kind of
Charlotte.
Yeah. Like she loved my freaking camo. Like that could just start a simple connection, or it could be like, oh, well, I just love I love your transformation. Like I'm trying to lose weight too. Like you never know where the conversation might go. But then after like you've had that conversation, you can just simply say, well, I run groups for women who are working on their nutrition and fitness goals. Is that something you're interested in? Like we think, and I do this too, I'm guilty of it. I think too much into it sometimes. And it's like, they're either going to say yes, no, not answer you.
Right.
So don't waste time. Don't waste time.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing because I'm feeling so like overwhelmed. Like I have to work, I have to get this done. And then like I have so many friends from work on social media. So I can't be like, it's 2:30 I'm posting because like I don't want to get in trouble. And like I'm just trying to, make it all work where I'm not putting my real job right now in jeopardy to do this, which is more fun and more satisfying to me, because that's the other thing. Like I like doing it, it's fun, and I'm finding that I'm so much more accountable to myself right now, which is awesome because it's been so long since I've done that. So
well, that's what I've always told people. I'm like, coaching I became a coach partially when I first signed up to be a coach was save money, help people when I could, and hey, I can, hold myself accountable. Like people don't get how much you can hold yourself accountable as a coach because like when you say, oh, I'm a coach, and it's like, well, shit, like, all right, I got, I gotta get my workout in. I gotta drink my superfood shake. It definitely does hold you. And like, those are the things you want to talk about. Like that is, a coaching jab right there. Like I became a coach, number one, to help people, but also to hold myself accountable. It's helped me make sure I'm getting my superfoods in, eating better, getting my workouts, coming on here. Like, and I do it too. I'll go on my stories and be like, this is my accountability. Like I'm getting my workout in. Tuesday, my workout sucked. Like I had a shitty workout, but like I shared that because I'm not perfect and people need to know that because sometimes they look at you and they're like, oh, well, you look great. And it's like, yeah, but I wasn't always this way. Like that's why it's always important to continue to share transformations mentally, physically, emotionally. Like always, if you look at my Instagram stories, or my Instagram, I have a transformation in pretty much almost every line. Just because to me it's really important to share that constantly. But when you're looking at your tracker and it does have timers or times like 20 minutes, like so just make sure like you're setting a timer. You don't need, and I tried to explain this to Logan yesterday, but you don't need hours and hours to build this business, especially if you have another full-time job or whatever. Like when I was working at the bakery, granted, I could have done more when I was working at the bakery. I was just being lazy. So don't be lazy. But as I became a full-time coach and I started seeing more of the benefits and I was like, oh shit, I wish I was doing this like before. Do an hour here, do an hour there, do 30 minutes here, do 30 minutes there. You like Kate Schultz made me highlight the income producing activities, and that's initiate connections, do a social media post. And this isn't like it was back in the day, Susie, because Susie's been a coach for a very long time with me.
Here's my shake.
Yeah, that. And then also, you do not need to post 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah.
In social media algorithm, it's changed so much. I post once a day on my Instagram feed for the algorithm, but also like the aesthetics of it. Facebook, I sometimes will post like random stuff like us at the beach or like whatever. Because Facebook's different. But it's not, you do not need to post 3 to 4 times a day at all. So I post once a day. And for me, if you want to make sure on Instagram, your page is set up to public, because if you're using hashtags and locations, people can't find you. So that's a tip. And then also you can set it to a creator or a business page. And from there, once it updates, it might take a few days. It'll give you like on my Instagram, on my Instagram, when I go to it, oh, you bitch. All right. It'll say, where does it say? Insights. It says insights right here. No, that's not that. But it'll say insights on it once it updates to a business Instagram. So when I click insights, it'll take me to my insights. So it'll show me like my post that's done good in the last 7 days is the one of me on the beach. And then it'll say activity. And then I can see, all right, I had a lot of activity on Monday. I've had 523 actions taken on my account. So the actions like taking on your account, hold on.
Struggle.
I know. Like that, like that's 523. So like I want that to go up. I want more people to want to go to my account. You can click audience and it'll show you how many profile visits you've had. I'll show you how many website clicks. So if you have a link in your bio. And then when you go to audience, it'll show you how many followers you have, people that unfollowed you, top locations, age range, and then it'll say at the bottom, followers, and it has the days. So for me, tonight at 9 p.m. is the best time for me to post because that's when most of my people are on. So that's really important because you want to make sure you can write out your post. Like if you are thinking about your post like earlier in the day, write it out and then you just have to post it later. And that's why like on Sunday we do our Sunday planning calls because we go over like content and like ideas. And so you're not like, what should I post today? It just helps kind of give you a guideline and like a push to talk about different things. But that down here, see, it really helps. So like, okay, I'm going to post at 9 because I have the most amount of followers on. So that's really important. That'll help with your engagement. And then, you know, responding to new likes and comments, inviting, follow up with people you've invited. Those are all income producing activities. Then the Instagram tracker, that's something I do like hand in hand with this. So, okay, engage and make a post. Okay, that's on my tracker. So I know I'm gonna make a post, create a story. So when you're doing your IG tracker, these are things you want to do all within like the hour you sit down and do it, or the 30 minutes you sit down and do it, because when you're on social media, Instagram realizes that. And when you're engaging, and the more that you're commenting on people's stuff and you're having conversations back and forth and people are commenting on your stuff, that's what's going to help people see your posts. That's how you get into the explore feed. That's why it's just important to make sure you're putting out good content. You're putting out things that people want to see and that you can invite to. You know, not all of my posts every time I make a post is, if you want to join, comment below, or if you're interested in coaching, comment below. It's me being a human. So when I'm posting on social media, I want to make sure that, like I said, within 9 of my squares, because the first thing you see when you go to Instagram is the first 9 pictures, I'm sharing a transformation at least once or twice. It doesn't have to be my transformation. I just know from doing this for so long, my audience likes seeing me. When I post somebody else's transformation, number one, sometimes people go, "Oh, you look great," and I'm like, "That's not me." But so that's why I put you guys' transformation in the stories. I post a vulnerable post within all my 9 squares. So like I did the one about mental health, and then I've done the one about my mom. And like, you're gonna share your story in different variations over and over again. It is what it is. If you are growing your Instagram every day, if you're following, it says 100 people on here. Sometimes 100 people is too much, obviously. Do 50, do 20, do 15. Don't do 5, don't do 2. You can do more than 5 and 10, right? But you want to make sure at least once a week you're going in and you're unfollowing people who you're following that aren't your people. Maybe you follow them and you're like, okay, you're not my person. Or you can go in to your followers, and if you have weird, creepy people or like weird accounts that aren't engaging, or like, you know, spam accounts, you can remove them. It says next to your following, it says remove them from following you, because that's cluttering up your Instagram, and that actually prevents like your stuff getting out more. Like, you don't need 16,000, 5,000 followers to have a lot of people engage. I know people that have 1,000 followers, 500 followers, but they have all those people liking and commenting on their stuff. You need to have quality over quantity, and that's why it's important you're going and you're engaging and you're connecting and you're following the right people. So what I've been doing to follow people is, when we moved down to the Outer Banks, like I said, I think that's why I followed Candace. I was going to like restaurants, or like, we have really cute coffee spots down here, because I want to engage with people from down here now. Like, I want to make friends, which I have. So that's why in my bio too, I put, NJ girl in OBX, North Carolina. So when I'm following people from down here, they're like, oh, she lives down here. Cool. And of course my account's public. But when I was lived in New Jersey and I was getting married, I was doing like bride pages and all that, photographer stuff like that. But now that I'm down here, I'm going to like the coffee shops, some of like there's, gyms down here, whatever there are, like studios, yoga studios. Obviously they're closed right now, but I've also been trying to connect with people, because a lot of people down here don't know what Beachbody is. I think there's like 4 Beachbody coaches I've come across down here. Not like coaches, So I've also been doing locations. So when you go to the little magnifying glass thing on Instagram, and you can go to top accounts, tags, or places. I go to places, and you can do near location. I'll pull up all the locations near you. I went and I did OBX Beach, and then I'll say top or recent, and I do recent because top is like the top post. But then there's all these people that are posting down here on vacation. So like, I'm just going in and I'm like, oh, she's like 12, so no. And one of my posts is in the recent, because I did the location as OBX. So when you go places, and like you're somewhere different, or even if like you're not, when you make the post, like my pictures from my wedding, I'll tag Basking Ridge Country Club in New Jersey because that's where I got married. So when people go, like brides, they'll go to that location and they'll see my picture. So even if you're not physically there, you can still tag the location. Then also in stories, you can tag location in stories and then just move it out of the screen. So your stories could come up in somebody's search engine, or it can come up in their newsfeed if they're following that location or hashtag. Also, you can hashtag your stories and then like, or your, put hashtags in your stories up to 10 and then like make it really small so you can't see it, or move it out. And then I'll hashtag like coffee mug of the day, coffee mug addict, when I do my coffee mug every day. And people who follow that hashtag or engage that hashtag will see that. It'll come up in their stuff. So like I'll do locations even when I do a story, right? I'll do like Houston, Texas. I'm not obviously in Houston, Texas, but like they don't know that. Like, so we can just pop up on their stuff. But when you do go to different places and we can like go do things again, definitely tag locations. Like if you go to a winery, or if you go to a sporting event or a tattoo parlor or whatever, like tag that location. That's just another way to just have people follow you or engage with you that maybe weren't before. So those are just like little tricks.
How did you get the location again, hon? I'm sorry.
So you mean like on your stories?
Yeah, so I see you said you go to Hourglass, right?
Well, when you do,
I mean,
when like on your stories, like if you just take a picture and you go up to that little like square thing with like smiley face.
yeah. Okay.
Like I can't see it, but yeah, it'll say like poll, location, mention, and always you can mention people in story. Like when I get my sports browser, it's like TJ Maxx. Like you can always do it too. It'll say location. So then I'll just pick whatever, Jockey's Ridge State Park, right? And then I'll just move it out of the slide like that. So it's still there, but it's not there.
Yeah.
Same thing with hashtags. I'll just write like hashtag this, hashtag that, and then just move it out of the image.
Yeah.
But to search locations, you'll go to the little magnifying glass and oh my gosh, you'll click search, and then it'll come up top accounts, tags, places.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you can look up. Yeah. So those are just like some tricks. But when you are posting on your Instagram, I only have one Instagram. I didn't make another Instagram. For me, it's just too much stinking work. Totally up to you. A lot of people I know who have done it have just ended up like Elisa and Jessica Hergert. They just ended up not even using it and just using their own, because you are branding yourself. People are going to connect with you based off of who you are, not just because you're health and fitness. Like they love when I share this, like the posts that have the most engagement on my page are when I'm sharing about my mom, or when I'm sharing about vulnerable things, like, when I struggle with when I had my panic attack and I shared that story. Like really sharing a story. You want to make people think that they're like literally sitting there listening to you talk, and make them feel the feel. It doesn't always have to be depressing, but you want them to feel the feels. And at the end, I always have a way that I made my life better at the end, right? Like, yes, I lost my mom, but this is what I learned from it. Or yes, I started having panic attacks and depression and all of this, but I acknowledged my problem. I started going to therapy. I started taking medication, and I leaned into my community, right? Like I throw those jabs in there, even though it's not a coaching post or a challenge group post, I'm still throwing that in there. Or like my post of me in the leopard pants has nothing to do with working out. It has Carol Baskin was stuck in my head all day because I was wearing leopard. And then it was just me sharing that like our team has helped almost 60 lives this month just by adding up like the Success Club points of all the coaches on our team. And just how that makes me happy, because 7 years ago, I decided to make a decision to just lose weight and just kind of share that, because people might not, once again, realize that, oh, I didn't realize she's been a coach for 7 years. Like, wow, like that's a long time, So just sharing, and just figuring out what are the things you want to talk about. So that's why on Sunday we do like the content calendar, we go over it and we brain dump. And I want like you guys to be able to brain dump ideas every week to share about. Like, I know that this week I'm going to be sharing a transformation picture of my face because I haven't done one. And I like to do different angles. I like to do different, like the same outfits. Like I have the one of the same bathing suit that I had like years ago. I still have that freaking bathing suit. So like I still put that on and be like, take a picture. Or like me and Logan's transformations together, like side by side couples. So I know I'm going to be doing a face transformation. I know that I'm going to be sharing another vulnerable mental health post because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, about, you know, just how it was hard for me to acknowledge that I was having depression, because that was like really like, no way, like I can't be depressed, like no, that's like serious, like, you know, but just like how it's hard right now. I'm dealing with Logan not being able to acknowledge that he's bipolar. No, he's not bipolar. He's his anger issues, and I'm like, his mom's bipolar, diagnosed and everything. So like, I'm kind of making a post about like how it was hard for me to acknowledge. Maybe he'll read it. I don't know. But just a lot of people have trouble like acknowledging it. They think something's like, oh, well, I have depression, then, you know, I suck or whatever. Like I'm a terrible person because I have depression, right? Like I think that's how he kind of feels. Like if something's really wrong with me, then I'm a bad person, right? So just like putting it out there, because I'm not the only one who struggles with that. And once again, I'm not perfect. And a lot of people might come and look at my stuff and be like, oh, look at her. Yeah. Like to share that I'm a real freaking person. And I always love putting my dogs in at least one of the 9 squares. It could be a picture of me and Rue, right? There's a picture of me and Rue sitting here. It has nothing to do with Rue, but it has to do, I was sharing Jess's story about how, you know, Jess wanted to commit suicide before she joined Beachbody. And you can share our team stories. Like, you know, you can reach out and ask, but like, as far as our coaches, like, just like share about it. Like you could save somebody's life sharing about our stories. Like that's totally fine. So in the pictures, I did her side by side, and that she helped her family lose a combined 200 some pounds. So it's not just always about me. I'm sharing about people on this journey with me. And I am sharing about coaching. You know, I'm sharing, there was one picture of me and Logan, he's in the Dick U shirt. And I'm just talking about, I wasn't looking for Beachbody. Like I was looking to lose weight. I wasn't looking for coaching. I wasn't looking for an at-home business. I wasn't looking for, but I realized that, holy crap, like I do want more. Like I want a passion. I want a purpose. And that just taking the risk on myself and my health and fitness led me to that. And so, and then I share the story and how, what coaching has done for me. So I'm always sharing something about what coaching has done for me. It doesn't have to be, oh, I made $1,000. Like the fact that I can share now about income is pretty cool, because I was a coach for a while that wasn't making any money because I wasn't doing the work. But I was earning free trips, and I was being around awesome people and traveling and like getting on calls and having friends. Like those are the things that when you're starting out as a coach, you can share. And you can also share about what you are going to do when you start to earn residual income. You know, like it's going to be awesome that I can put money into savings, or I can pay off credit card debt, or I can take my kids out for ice cream someday, maybe again, or whatever. Like there's other women out there that like, they want to be able to pay off their debt, their student loans, or be able to go out and get their nails done. Like hopefully someday again, but buy stuff off of Amazon and like not have to have their husband freak out. So like speak to your people, like whatever that is, that's what you need to be sharing.
I tried to do that a little bit more today with my story that I posted. And it was a very embarrassing picture of one of the before one. And it wasn't easy. And I tried to be real with a little bit, with what I was saying.
Yeah.
Brian.
Like I talk out loud to myself, or like when I'm in the shower. That's what I'm saying. Like if you have an idea, like just write it down or put it in the note section of your phone, because that's what I was doing today. I was really struggling. Like I was having like a mental blockage. Like I couldn't think. I'm like, what am I going to post about? Like I was just overwhelmed for no reason, stupid. But I went for a walk and I put on music, and then like all these ideas start popping into my head. I was like, damn it, I got to like go home and write all these down. So that's what I did. I came home and I put on music, and I was just like brain dumping. I don't even know where the paper went. That's what I'm saying. I need to get a notebook. My plan, this is what I want my plan. I need to start waking up early. Okay. But I do. And I want to like make my pre-workout and sit there with my personal development, or listen to a podcast or whatever, and just like journal. and just write, because that's where like these awesome stories of mine come. And even though like it's our story, sometimes we're like, how am I gonna share about this, or how am I gonna word it?
Yeah.
And then it's like you hear stuff, and like I love listening to like positive YouTube videos, and it's like, oh, like okay, it's like I was just writing things down, like how I say, acknowledging my PTSD, like that just popped into my head, like, oh my god, I really struggle with acknowledging it, and realizing that it's okay to have depression, it's okay to, you know, have issues, like as long as I'm acknowledging it, I'm gonna work on it, right? And then I was like, okay, I found my voice from losing it, like being able to go through something hard, and then like, wow, I can share this, and even though it's not Beachbody, like somebody else could be struggling, and that's how you can make that connection with somebody. And then I was saying to Candace, say like something else that popped into my head was like, I always felt like I needed a man to make me feel happy. Like I needed to, like it was his response, not even him, like my ex is like their responsibility to make me happy. Like if I'm not happy with him, then I'm like, I don't have a purpose. And it's like weird how you just like start to think of these things about yourself once you start listening to personal development and start like really digging deep into your feelings. Like I totally forgot I felt that way. I totally forgot that I thought that, you know, because he always had a passion, like football, sports, like working, like doing roofing and siding. He loved that. And I was like, I'm just me. Like, I'm not really anybody special. But then it was like, okay, you know, I need to find my thing. And I think you can do that with this business in so many different ways. Like in our Fit Bod Squad chat today, like just watching everybody like communicate back and forth and like, oh my God, I'm from like, that makes me feel good. Because like I created that, like I did that. And we're all capable of doing stuff like that. It's just obviously it doesn't happen overnight, and it takes time and connecting and engaging and putting yourself out there. But and then that was the last thing I wrote down was I brought people into a community through health and fitness that has become my family. Because, and that's the other thing, like I've lost so much of my family, but, and I don't look at his family as family. It hurts him for me to say that, but I'm like, my family was freaking awesome. Like I'd rather talk to you guys than be around his family. And I've never even met Candace. I met both of you, obviously, my Jersey girls, but I'm just saying, I'd rather go hang out with you than deal with his mother. Like, so to me, that is something I love sharing about, because I'm sure there's other people out there who feel that way. I know there's other people out there that feel that way about their mother-in-law, but I can't put that. That's one thing I just can never write about. Somebody, you should write a book. I'm like, I know. But it just really helps digging deep, because I was talking to my Kate Ramirez today, and she's talking to her coaches about the same thing, like just really being authentic, like using your pictures, using your face. Like I get the most engagement when I'm sharing me, like me. It doesn't always have to be pretty, you know. There was one picture I shared of me crying like a baby, but it's real, and that's what people want to see. And, you know, I have a post I'm going to be talking about, like, cellulite. Like, I have cellulite on my leg. I've always had. I probably always will. No matter how much weight I lose, no matter how much weight I squat, like, always will. But there's so many people that hide it because they're insecure about it, which I get because I was for a really long time, too. But just being real about it and just being like, yeah, look, like, don't care. You shouldn't either. Just to be inspiring to somebody, you know, like, you just never know what you share that's going to change somebody's life. I have my brown blankie too. So I know
I'm like always freezing for some, like it's terrible. Today I like slothed on Justin to like to get warm because he's so warm. And I'm sitting here all day and I don't get nearly as many steps in anymore since I'm sitting all day.
So that's one thing I'm like very intentional about too, is going for walks. Even it was raining, it was pissing on me all day today while I was walking. Like my glasses are like, I'm like this, but just, I didn't do the work today. It was my rest day, and I went over 10,000 steps, more than I probably do when I do work out. So just being intentional with that. But yeah. So is there any like questions about posting or content or sharing, or anybody stuck? Let me see if
I feel like right now I'm just really excited about Beachbody that it's really hard for me not to talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
You know, because then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to scare them away. But then I'm just kind of real about it. Like, I'm
No, and then you
excited.
should just say it. Be like, look, I know I'm talking a lot about my workouts, and I know I'm talking a lot about how I feel, but you're sharing a lot about like your rabbit and like stuff like that. Like, but that's you, like that's your life, you know.
Yeah.
But just say that, like, I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I am so fired up, and just talk about why you're fired up. You know, why I know you said to me like having this community and just being engaged, like talk about that. It's okay, you know, but just you also just want to make sure you're being a human and you're giving other people, like, people can't relate, people who aren't working out or who are, you know, struggling with their nutrition and their weight and all of that stuff, they can't relate to the after pictures and like, you know, all of that, but they can relate to me when I was struggling, and when I talk about my anxiety, or when I talk about, I can't talk about my asshole mother-in-law because my sister-in-law follows me, but when I talk about losing my mom or whatever, like they can relate to that, or having a block day. That's why I was sharing about, like, they can relate to that. So always just being relatable, like Kim said in our call last night. Like, are you being relatable? Are you being vulnerable? Are you being real? Look at your post, you know, critique yourself. Like, would you follow you? Like, I would totally follow me because I love my leopard pants. But like, would you follow you? Would you watch your stories? Would you want to reach out and you know, message you and ask for help? I mean, that's really hard for some people. It was hard for me to do that with my coach. But those are just things you always want to just, you know, every week look back. Okay, like I need to post more about my actual life than just Beachbody. But in your stories, it's super easy to invite or put jabs out every day about, you know, your groups, right? So today I didn't do a like story on my challenge groups or anything yet, but I did a jab on my superfood shake and what it does for me. And I did do a jab on, just before I got on the call, my pre-workout, you know, getting on a call and doing a power hour with my girls and working. And then I did a quick, these freaking cats are insane. I did a quick story about my Fit Bod Squad and like love just sharing that, you know, everybody's just working together and talking in the chat. I took a screenshot of it and I just shared it just to show people, like, look at this. This is awesome. But I didn't do like a, hey, my group is, you know, you can join my group this month. Like, I don't do that every day, but I do make sure at least twice a week I am doing a like straight up invite to my group, and twice a week I'm doing straight up invite to coaching, some way, shape, or form. But it's not every day that I'm like, join my group, because you should be doing that in your inviting behind the scenes. My cats are psychotic behind me. I wish you could hear them.
I do have a question about different things we can say and not say.
Yeah.
So case in point, I'll use the example of the shakes. We can't say Shakeology, but that's why you do more of like a superfood.
So it's not that you can't, you totally could, but I have found that I've had people go, oh, I just ordered Shakeology, and I'm like they'll just go to the site and order it, right? So I've had people, like I said last night in our call, go, oh, I've tried, you know, Googling Jiggle Juice and I can't find it. Where can I find it? So people will just, instead of reaching out, even though you're like, hey, message me, like always inviting them to message you, they will Google that shit. And that's why I'll say like 3-day plant-based cleanse. And of course, sometimes like they might see like my stuff, they might be, but I try to hide it because you want to create curiosity. Like, what's that program you're doing? You know, when I was sharing bar, I wasn't sharing bar blend. I was just saying bar, at home bar, or like I'm doing an advanced program right now, or I'm doing a lift and hit program right now. You just really want to create that curiosity and have people reach out. And that's why, like, I used to post like that with my shaker and be, holy crap, this damn cat. And just be like, Shakeology. Like, that used to work because Beachbody's been around since the 90s, okay? Like, a long time. So when Shakeology came out, it was like, woo. So it's just so different now. Like, there's a lot of Beachbody coaches. There's a lot of Isagenix people. There's all that crap. So what's going to make you different than the average Beachbody coach that's like, Shakeology, yay. Like, that's why I've connected with you guys, because of something that, you know, has happened to me or like my story. That's how I connect. And those are the kind of people you want to work with. Because I've wasted so much time working with stupid people that just think that like they can sign up as a coach and make all this money and not have to do anything. It's like, that would be great, but no. It is a business. Like you have to treat it like a business. Or just people who we have nothing in common, and it's like, I don't know. Like you just want to make sure you're just really being authentic and sharing like yourself. That's why I say I invite straight from the bat, because when I'm talking to somebody, it's like, look, are you in or you out? That's how I would talk to somebody in person too. Like I'm like, Logan's not that kind of way. He's like, he beats around the bush with people. And I'm like, just ask them the question, like, hey, like with his brother and his sister, they wanted to come down this weekend. And I'm like, no. I'm like, they're coming from Jersey. I don't know where they've been. My dad is here. And it's going to rain all weekend. So why are you going to come to the beach when it's going to, like, no. So instead of like, oh, his little brother wanted to bring his girlfriend. And I was like, another no. I don't need your brother and his 16-year-old girlfriend in my house. I don't need to be responsible for that. So instead of just like calling him up right away and saying no, it's like, oh, I'll talk to him. Me, I'm like, straight to the point. So you have to ask yourself, like, who are you? You know, are you somebody that just, like Susie, sounds like to me like you just want to be straight to the point. Like, hey, I see you're watching my stories. I really appreciate it. You know, these workouts are kicking my butt. Have you ever thought about, you know, joining my group and seeing what it's all about, or do whatever sounds like you? And like I said, I say things out loud. I'll talk to myself. I'll type and talk at the same time. Same thing when I'm making my posts. I'm really just like reading it out loud. What does it sound like to me? So
I know I need to work on getting more female followers, because I just, you know, when you were going through the Instagram thing this evening, I looked, 70% of my followers are male.
But see, that's what's great about Insights, because it, like, you see, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why, I started doing the IG tracker in the beginning of the year, my team and I have. And the ones who are doing this day in and day out are the ones that are growing. Like, it's helped me so much. I've lost some followers, but they're I don't need you. Like, I don't need all 16,000 people to join me. I'm starting to gain more people from around here. I'm starting to get more people watching my stories. So just every day, just little by little. So I unfollow like on a Sunday or a Wednesday. I'll go in, and you don't want to unfollow no sooner than 1 hour after doing the rest of these activities. Must be something with the algorithm. So I'll go in and I'll just unfollow like 50 people. And I'm like, nope, bye. Like, or I'll remove people who are following me that I'm like, I don't want you following me. You're a creepy dude, or your spam account, or you haven't posted on your account. You don't have a profile picture. Those are the people you want to get rid of. Those people are cluttering up your stuff. So it's just really important to just, you know, this has to be part of one of your business hours. Some of it plays into your business activity tracker, and then the rest is your trackers. This business is not hard. It's just consistency.
Jenna, I have a quick question. So is it with the hashtags how you wind up accumulating your followers? Because I feel like I have a hard time doing that. Like I'm having a hard time gaining followers.
Are you doing this tracker?
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing all.
Are you doing it all within like the same time? Like, are you doing like it? Like, are you sitting down?
I honestly do my power hour in the morning, even before I get my workout in, just because the kids are still sleeping. So I literally do all that, and then I do my responses, or like I comment back to whoever liked or commented to whatever I posted, like throughout the day.
All right. So when I'm going and I'm following people, like I said earlier, I'm following people that I really genuinely want to connect with. So I'm following people who are from the Outer Banks or down here in the Outer Banks, or go to one of the gyms around here, because I can, and like I said, when I was home in Jersey, I was connecting with people from like Long Valley. I would go to locations of like the Valley or the Brew Pub or Orts Farm, which was right down the road from where I lived. So I'm following people. I'm not just following random ass people. I'm following people that I literally, and I'm following like 20 to 50 people a day. If you are not getting if you're not getting the return you want, you have to look at who are you following, how many people are you following, are you commenting on 10 people's stuff, and are they different people every day? Are you leaving genuine comments like more than 2-3 words because Instagram recognizes that as spam? And are you loving 25 photos a day, if not more? Are you leaving comments with strangers that you actually want to click? I will leave a comment, like this one girl I commented on. She does Monet, I think, but like she was heavier and she was posting about like self-love, and I gave her some like love, and she came and she started liking my stuff. So people that you think will really engage with you.
I wind up like I'll go to like Mount Olive, the school district, and then I'll look at who's following their Instagram page, and whoever I start liking from there. That's like an example of what I do.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm doing that. That's what I've been doing. Or like I'll go to like the gym that's here, or where I see like Revive Studios, where I see people are active. They're, you know, into fitness.
I would also, you don't have to just do fitness. I would do things like other things, like what are your interests? Like what do you like to shop at certain places? Do you like certain like brands of foods? Like things that aren't just all fitness. Like I will follow pages, like there's some boutiques down here that I found that have nothing to do with fitness, but I love freaking clothes. So like I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go look at their last post, and the people who liked and commented on their last post are people who are active right now on social media. So those are people that I'm gonna follow, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna like, if their account is private or public, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start engaging with their stuff right then and there. So just like changing up who like and there's a lot of people in Mount Olive that probably already know about Beachbody because Jen Terry is from Mount Olive. And she's not that like you could find people that you might engage with better, but think of different things outside of just like the school district. That's not working for you. If you're not noticing like people following you and engaging with you, then
I'm just finding it easier that way, just because I know that whoever I'm following are moms. And
yeah, but if you're not getting like the engagement in return, it's they're not caring.
Right.
Just because mom doesn't mean that. And I know like there's a lot of moms. There's a lot of moms out there in the world. So like
they're not only in Mount Olive.
No. No. There's a lot of moms out there. So, you know, what kind of moms do you really want to work with? Do you want to work with moms that are like, you know, have like one child and are like sheltered?
We're all sheltered. We're all losing our mind. It is right. The struggle is seriously real.
Well, yeah, but like you have no problem being like these kids. Like, you know, do you want to follow a mom who would never like call her kid an asshole? Because that's not me. I would totally call my kid an asshole. So like you don't want to follow a mom that's going to be offended by that. Like if you notice the people on our team are pretty like raunchy, like don't give up, except Hannah. Hannah's a Bible thumper. I love her to death though. We have a lot in common. She's a great person. She just doesn't swear or drink, but she's rocking her business. So I'm careful of what I say around her just out of respect. But like you see, like if you look at Amy Silverman, who is like all tatted up, pregnant, like booty pictures, like loves her freaking, doesn't care. Melanie Mitro, who is like Kate Spade, like preppy, they both respect each other 120%, but they are totally different and they attract totally different people.
Yeah.
I wish I was under Amy Silverman, but Melanie's great. I mean, she's great, but there's just, you look at the top 10 coaches, they're all so freaking different. You want to make sure you're speaking to your person. Like
I follow Ashley
Halstead, and she's F-bomb this, like her boobs out, breastfeeding her baby. She don't care. But guess what? She's at Success Club 300 something. She
but like the quality of like her posts on her, like her stories, they bore me.
But that's just it. Like you are not, like they bore me too. Like she just kind of like, she talks and talks and talks.
Yeah. And I'm like, how is she so successful when she's literally so boring?
Because she's not boring. She's just boring to you. Like that just goes to show like that's just not your person. That's
Yeah.
why, like you're not going to be able to help everybody. That's why you have to talk to more people. You have to follow more. That's why 5 people a day aren't going to cut it, because those 5 people might already have a coach, or maybe they just don't give a shit, or maybe like they're moving to China. Like probably not, but like one girl I was talking to, I'm like, you would make a great coach. She's moving across seas. So like, you know, you just gotta like 10x what you're doing. If you're not hitting Success Club, if you're not moving your business forward, you have to 10x it, or look at the people you're following, the places you're following them. You know, look at your content, and if you know, is your are people engaging with your content, and those are all the things you have to really look at.
I think too, some of the bigger coaches who've been around for a long time, like they don't have to, not that they don't have to, but they don't really post as much. Like Lindsay Madaway, if you look at her stories, she's been top coach like a bunch of times too. And she posts like, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, sometimes 5 times a day on her stories. Like
Follow her.
I only
sometimes
followed
people,
her
like,
from like years ago.
yeah, and like some like Instagram for some coaches isn't their thing. Like I work on both because both is my thing, but like everybody's different and people are going to be attracted to different people. She might get a lot of people join her through her Virago Babe eyelashes, like or her website. Like Melanie had like Kaylee, my coach, joined Melanie Mitro because of her blog, like found her through her blog. So there's just different ways. For me, it's easier to just do Instagram or Facebook because that's where I am most of the time. I like talking. I like picking up my phone and being like, look at my asshole husband playing video games, or like, you know, doing TikToks like that. That's me. I don't have time. I am working on a website, but I don't have time. Like writing a blog post every day is just not exciting for me. So you just have to do what's going to work for you. So with that being said, I got to go make a post actually. We got to take a picture. I have this filter. It's coming up on me and Susie, but not the rest of you. It's okay. Everybody smile. It's my girl gang filter. All right. And then Sunday we have our planning call. It is Wednesday, so just make sure your active status, your back online office is all good. That's pretty much it.
I won't be on